This is Taylor. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen Teresa. Oh, okay, thanks. She's getting ready to. It's a mastermind. I'm not really sure, honestly.
Hi, good morning. Oh, Brandon, nice to meet you. Amal, nice to meet you. Yes. Being here.
They might be in here. Down there. How are you? Hi. She's so On Friday, we were going to make the standards. Yeah. You know what? Are you logged into your thing right there? They might not let you log out. Hey guys, we'll get started in just a little bit. Give us a couple minutes to finalize everything.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. I just literally raced. I just got back from Charlotte, so I thought, oh no, I'm going to be late. But is Brandon on yet?
Yep, I'm here. Got to turn the volume up here.
There he is. So he was gonna lead us in because I said, uh-oh, what are we doing from last week? And I think Miss Judy, I think you've got some stuff to share with us today.
If you want to.
Yeah. Good. So Brandon, are there any announcements we need to make that I'm forgetting?
No, we've got, the biggest thing for us is obviously gala coming up. So make sure we get our last minute tickets. Last day for ticket purchases is on Monday. And we've got a really decent crew here. Welcome everyone, for being here. And looking forward to Judy kicking us off, and then we'll get into our other topics as well.
Awesome. Yeah, the gala is, some people had confusion. It's a 1920s theme. You can dress up, we're going to have bands there and things for people to take pictures. So it's either dress up or just be in a nice beaded gown, but we're excited. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, get your tickets. So Judy, last week we didn't get to the net sheet and so many people had raised their hand about the fees and just how you do it. So I'm going to let you kick it off and
Awesome,
take it
thanks.
away.
Very good. All right, now I realize in our markets, this is something I did back in, excuse me, the last recession back in 2006 through 2010, and things were declining quickly. But I still think for impact, this is one of the best things that you can do to show people, because things are changing. We're not getting more of more. And that's when I go on a listing appointment, I tell them, I said, I'm not telling you that the market is crashing, because it's not. In fact, you're deciding to be in a market that is still where you're going to get maybe what your neighbor got or pretty darn close. You're just not going to get more of more. And it kind of resonates with people because that's what was happening. People would see what their neighbor got and they would know they could get more back, a year ago, 6 months ago. So Brandon, you weren't able to put together that sheet for me, were you?
No, but I can display it here on screen if that works for you.
You can do that. And then what I would ask everybody to do is on your paper, hopefully everybody has something to write with, or in your mind, I'd like you to write, we're going to write 3 numbers side by side. I want you to write down 775,000. I want you to write 750,000 and then 725. And right now, I just arbitrarily picked those numbers. Back in the day, we knew that our market was declining 3 to 5% a week. So I could literally use real numbers. Right now, I'm just throwing this out there because it's kind of an average of that. So first thing is you should know through the pre-qual what someone is expecting. If you're calling on an expired or for sale by owner, because that's what they have their home listed for. So you need to know what is the number that they wanted. In this scenario, I'm making the story be that I did my prospecting, I did my pre-qualification, and they told me they want 775. Okay, so the first number we have is 775,000. Now it's really great. My title and escrow company, sorry, I've got beautiful sunshine here today, finally. My title company, thank you. I have an app that I can go on or online, and I can actually plug this in and it allows me to do a quick net sheet. So ask your title company if they have this title escrow. It makes it very easy for me. I do need to figure out how to make it so I can get them 3 in a line. But what I've been doing lately is I'll put out the $775,000 sheet. When I do my CMA, the story that we're telling today, when I do the CMA, it shows that the market, not my number. Remember, guys, when we're presenting our CMA, it is not your money. It is not your dollars. It is what the market says that it will bear for them to get for their house. So I would say to them, okay, so you're telling me you want the 775,000. That's where you want to start. when I did my research showed that the market is bearing $750,000. Okay, so there's a difference here. So I explained to them there's a difference, and I would go over some of the, I'm not going to go a whole role play of how I would ask them, why do they think their home is worth more than what the market says? Because that is obviously part of the script that we all know, and you should be saying to them so that they can have that realization of, okay, what you want and why you want it isn't going to make the market give it to you. And that's the reality that you have to give them. We don't have to be really clever about what we say, but we have to be very clear about why we explain to them, or how we explain to them why they're not going to get what they want. They're going to get what the market bears. So if you can imagine, you've got your 775, you got your 750, because that's what the market shows. And then I do a third sheet for 725. So you got 775, 750, and 725. So what I say to them, and can they see me on this, or is it just the sheets?
They can see you, and unfortunately, the three attachments I've got from you are all 725 sales price.
Okay, that's fine. So
Okay.
what I would like everybody to do is I'd like everybody to write down, and maybe I'll do it on here. I'm not very savvy when it comes to like Canva and all those things. So I'm going to write down 775, 750, and 725. And then you've got all the things that that they're going to have to pay. And there's a dollar amount at the bottom. So what I would normally do, so can you guys see my fancy sheet?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would do is I'd be sitting down in front of them, and I would have this out in front of them, and I would say, guys, we could list your house at 775. That's what you want to get for your reasons, 775. Now the market is saying 750. My fear is, and I would take a pen and I would be dramatic about it. And those who know me, I'm usually not dramatic, but this is one where you really want full impact. So you would say to them, my fear is if we list at 775, what's going to happen is we're going to list at 775, and we're going to miss the market, and we're going to skip over the market, and you're going to end up with 725. And I don't want that to happen to you. Let's list you where the market says, so you can be assured to get that $25,000 more than if you would have started at 775. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, any questions about that?
I love how dramatic the visual is. I think that's like really good, right?
Yeah.
So if they miss that, I love it.
Okay. And again, one of the big important things about it being the market price, not your price. And I know I've heard a lot of agents this last couple of years taking claim of how much money they got for their sellers. Guys, don't take credit for when the market is good, because then you're going to have to take credit when the market is bad. It's never your price. It's always the market price. The market is what the buyers are willing to buy. Takes the onus off you so that when you for the market, so when you can present this, there's nothing personal about it. It is just. I used to tell people, look, I wish I could get you 775. I live in this neighborhood. Every time I have to show everybody this, I'm realizing my house isn't worth this. It's worth this. So I get it. I wish I could get you this. So it takes everything off of you. It's not that you're saying their home isn't worth it. You're just saying this is the market.
So
Okay.
Judy, can we give them an objection handler? Like if the client sees that, and then, some of them might say, well, Judy, I get it, but my house is, I know it's really great and it's better, and it only takes one buyer, Judy.
Tina, you're right. It does just take one buyer. Now let's go back to, and I'll show you this one day too. Let's go back to my track record. Now on my track record, it shows that I sell 95, because remember, guys, I know everybody is selling 100% of their homes right now, but we weren't before, right? So I'm actually showing my my track record from back in 2006 and 2010. And I'd say, okay, look, when the market shifted, Let's look at my the track record that sellers get to realize when they work with me. It shows that I sell 95% of the homes that I take. It also shows that I'm getting 97% or frankly, 90% of the asking price. And when sellers list with me and use the strategies that I'm showing, and I know it's tough to take this strategy. But what's happening is that their home is on the market only 45 days instead of 62 days. So if you want to fit into this track record, in fact, I don't like to take listings that is going to change my track record, because the strategies I use, when we use them, get homes sold in this time, gives them this ability to get sold and how quickly it's going to get done. So would you rather get sold now, or would you rather wait on the market and possibly get another $25,000 less? Let's go ahead and get you signed and get you on the market for $750. So a track record is really important. And I know some of you didn't sell homes back in the day, but you can still use the track record that you have now for what you've been doing. And you want to show them that the strategies that you use, pricing homes right, allows you to get the right numbers for your sellers. So I'm just going to demonstrate to them that I know they don't like what I'm showing them. I know they don't like what it takes to get the home sold, but when you do that, you're going to be one of the ones that sell faster for the most money. It's funny, I have a gal that I coach, and what she tells them is, she says she has them look at her track record, and she said, frankly, I won't take a listing unless you'll take it at the price the market is, because I don't want to change my track record. That track record is important to me. That's how people choose to work with me. So that was how she shifted her objection handler to, this is all about, I'm not changing this.
Yeah. And if you're on a team, you have to use your team's track record. If you're not on a team and you don't have a track record, you have to use your brokerage's track record.
Yep.
Right. For the people that are newer on here going, well, wait, Judy, I've only sold one home. I don't have a track record. Now what? You know? Well,
yes. And one home is your track record. What is that? What did you do? What did it take to get that property sold? Now, if your numbers aren't good, because that can happen, right? That's a possibility. Then yes, you use your team, you use your brokerage. And it might be that you don't use this yet, but that is the strongest way to have someone understand that strategies aren't always comfortable. Strategies aren't always sexy. They're not always what we want, but it will get them to where they want to be if they follow the strategies. And it's the confidence that you have. It's the confidence of, this is what it takes. Right. And again, I know the markets are still really strong, but I don't know about you guys. Are you starting to see a shift? Are you seeing a little bit of a decline in your prices? Yes.
I know we saw definitely a shift. Homes were, when interest rates went up, people just kind of froze. And then it was like, oh my God, the market's going to tank. And then it didn't. And now we're seeing multiple offers again. We're seeing action again. The buyer demand's always been there. It's just got covered up for a hot minute from the interest rates, but the demand is still there.
Exactly.
Hi, Judy.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. My camera is off. I'm driving. I just accepted an offer on my listing in North Bergen, New Jersey, $10,000 less.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Of course, I told the seller from the beginning to price it at 175. She didn't want to. She wanted to price it at 200. I told her, okay, we can try it for 2 weeks, but then you're going to have to readjust the price. We did leave it on the market for 2 weeks. We did bring down the price, but still we did not get the 200. We started with 210. We end up accepting 190 cash.
Okay.
But but she's even getting more for what the apartment is worth.
Sure. Right. So one of the great things to do as well is I call it a win file. So just like Sarah is saying, she had a listing and she went ahead and tested the market, because sometimes you're going to do that, and that'll be a choice that you make. And if you choose to test the market, then you want to have an agreement to reduce it. And I would suggest, and I always, not always, that's a bad word, but I most of the time will get a pre-signed listing price reduction. And then what you should do is, once your property closes, run a history on it, and then keep what's called a win file. So that you can say, now, when you show them this, you can say, now this is same thing that I showed a seller. And this seller chose to do the 775 or the 210. And we did it for 2 weeks, and it didn't get the home sold. We reduced it. We started getting showings, we got an offer, and then it sold right where we had said, where we knew the market was, not where I said, where the market said it was. So you can see, you can take the strategy and wait 2 weeks, and then take another 2 weeks and take another 2 weeks, or you can get right into the market and get your home sold quicker. So use that, Sarah, as an example to somebody else, a third-party example of why this strategy works.
100%. I agree. I'm going on a listing appointment tomorrow.
Then pull that listing history and let them see that when you sat down with them, the market said it should be listed at whatever, but they wanted to test it for 210. And we did that, and it took us this much longer. So would you want to wait as long as they did, or do you want to just jump into the market?
100%.
Okay.
Thank you, Judy.
And the more you have of those, the better. You take an expired, and an expired is listed at 250, and it should have been at 200. And then you put it on the market for, 199, and it sells right away. That's a win. And you want to show them the strategy of pricing. So that's a really great place, is when you're doing expireds, it's a way to show it that way, as well as your own tests.
Judy, I did my homework for tomorrow, and the condo is worth 304, according to the neighborhood. Are you a fan of pricing a little bit lower, like 299 maybe, just to get more people to see it?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So I'll role play it with you. So you're the seller. So I would say, Sarah, as you can see here, I did the research, and it does show that the market is bearing 304. What I'm going to suggest is we listed at 299. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Tell me.
Well, let's talk about it. When you're out there looking for properties, if you're going to buy a property between 275 and say 290, what price range might you go up to?
I will set my search engine between 275 and 300.
Yeah, so for $4,000, we might miss some buyers. So let's go ahead and list it at 299. Fair enough?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So ask them the question, get them involved so that they are understanding where they're going to sit in searches and where they're going to sit in the market.
100%. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Judy, like, she was gonna list the property at 175, which, they got 190. So Sarah's probably thinking, oh gosh, I would have left money on the table. But I maybe, like, I know for us, I think she probably would have ended up getting more showings, multiple offers, and gotten that 190, potentially 200, because you would have had people fighting over the property and bidding it up, just like at an auction.
Still,
Right? You start something at 99 cents and you get $9 grand for it, because now you created all this social proof and people fighting over it and going from 99 cents to 9,000 because people want what they can't have.
right. Well, and back in the day, we were taught to take listings 3 to 5% under the market for
Right.
that reason, and they did sell faster. One of the things that you can say to back that up is it's a fact. It's not even a statistic. It's a fact. You cannot underprice a property. The market won't allow it. So if we price you at 175 and it's worth 190, what we're going to do is, just like Tina said, we're going to attract people. If we price it at 200 or 210, that will cause a problem. So let's price it, make you I call it beauty contest, a price war and a beauty contest.
Mhm.
So we want your house to be the prettiest, which it is. You've done everything you can for it. So you're the prettiest. You're going to win the beauty contest. Now we need to win the price war. We want that when they go to see two houses or three houses that are priced between 175 and 200, you win both of them and they want yours for the price the market is going to bear. Okay. So those
That
are
makes
some-
me feel so much better. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Both
welcome.
of you,
Okay.
Tina and Judy.
Yeah.
I have a quick question if you don't mind. I have another listing appointment next week, but the lady called me and she's asking me if she should change her front door, if she should paint her whole house, if she should put granite top. And I'm like, what's the number that's in your head? And because her neighbor's house sold for 730 last March, when the market had no inventory at all, she thinks she can come up to that level. But when I did my homework, her house is only worth 650.
So that's what you tell her.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is don't filter it. Say, I'm glad you asked. I did the research and you could put in new countertops. You could do all this. And what I show, even at the top, this is what the market is bearing. So let's do this. Let's get you on the market. Let's eliminate the extra work. Let's eliminate the risk of your ROI. Let's just get you on the market and let's get you where the market will let you, that it will bear for you.
Would it be a good idea to tell her, let's test the market, price it right, put it on the market, and see if you can get maybe the price that you want, not like what she's thinking, 730, but like maybe a couple of $1,000s more than what it's worth. And then if she wants to take it off the market in 2 weeks and redo all the cosmetic work, too complicated?
Well, because if she's gonna overprice it, it's not gonna sell. So then you're gonna set her up to go put in things in the house that then aren't gonna help her get 730.
That's true. Yeah, she's never gonna get a 730 because I sold the house next door to her. That's why how she contacted me. But that was a brand new house.
So why is her house worth less than her neighbor's?
The neighbor house was brand new house and new constructions.
So then you have to explain that. So I would say to her, why do you think the market is allowing your neighbor's house that I sold to go for 730, but yours isn't? What do you
Yeah,
think?
I tried like softly to let her know that your house is a slab. His house has a walkout finished basement.
Be careful,
All adds.
don't do all of this on the phone. You have to do it in person and you have to ask these, so you can't tell her. So ask her, let me ask you, what are the features of that property next door that's new construction? What are the features of it that you feel that, or that you think that these numbers that the market is showing won't bear on your home?
Yes, I was door knocking that day and she invited me in.
Okay.
And she told me she's moving to North Carolina. So I'll be contacting you guys to buy her house. And then yes. And then she told me that her mother is 90 years old, lives across the street, that she wants to sell her house too in the summer.
I would still, when you're invited into a house and it's not a real listing presentation, I wouldn't handle objections. I would say, tell me everything that you want me to gather information about. When I meet with you, we can sit down and talk about this. Because right now she's just in that phase of discovery, and you're not in business with her yet, even though you're sitting in her living room or wherever. If you come back and you've prepared and you've got a folder and you've got all the things you're supposed to have, now you're in business with her and now you can have authority.
I
And
agree.
having authority isn't telling. When you guys start to tell something, stop yourself and say, you know what, before I tell you about the difference between the neighbor's house and your house, let me ask you, what do you think the difference is? Why do you think the market is bearing more for that house than your house? It's okay. It's a natural communication to stop yourself. Don't feel like you have to be perfect in these presentations. Be yourself. So for those of us that like to tell, I love to tell things. Ask my husband. You have to learn to ask questions. It is the biggest, it will be the biggest gift you can give yourself is if you learn to ask questions. And the way I started changing is exactly what I just told you. I'd start to tell somebody something and I could hear it and I'd be like, whoop. Before I tell you what I think, let me ask you. And then I asked the question that I was posing to tell them about. Because what happens when you tell them instead of asking them questions? What are they hearing? Sarah,
Like you're demanding your own opinion on them.
that and what else? When someone's telling you, what happens to your mindset, Sarah?
I want to reject.
Got to make it their idea. And then they're just a lot of times hearing blah, 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 because a lot of our realtors speak is just realtors speak to them. They don't even know what the heck we're saying. They're like, what? You could be speaking French to them for all they care. So you've got to find out what is it about that they're thinking so that you can guide them to where they need to go.
I agree. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We call it the advice monster, Judy. It's like that natural, like we're all fixers and we want to fix every problem. We have all the answers and we feel so smart. And then we do that with our agents. We do that with our friends. And it's like, you're right. It's just turning around and just saying simply, what do you think? What's on your mind? And let them talk.
Yep.
And that's basically it. Does anyone want to add anything to what Judy talked about just now? Because I know there's Brandon, I think there were 3 more questions, which was how do we generate referrals from past clients, staying consistent and overcoming discouragement, and then showing your value and charging a transaction fee and full commissions. Judy, do you want to add anything to wrap up on net sheets and value?
No, I think it just really know what it is, know why it is, and go in with confidence because they need you to, they need you to lead.
Yeah, because I wrote down, I mean, again, if you guys aren't writing nuggets down, it's you didn't get them more, the market got them more. So stop taking credit for the good because you have to take credit for the bad then, and it's not your fault either way, right? Good or bad. You know, we could list that property, but my fear is blah, blah, blah. And I love the way she has the drawing that line. Using visuals is very powerful. So I loved that. I hope you guys took a lot away from that.
And I can do this again and get it a little bit better organized, but hopefully that really generates or, resonates with people.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give sellers options. And I think the other part is, when Sarah was saying, I got a number of 304 to come in, like we just did an exercise on our team where we had four listings and all of us came to, together with a price and everybody was throwing their price on the board of what they got. Everyone got a different number. Right. So think about that. There is no absolute in real estate. You can't say this home is worth 304, 500. No, it's worth probably between 290 and 310. So you want to always almost give them a range. And then have your 3 numbers, your high that they want, your middle and your low. And always make your middle the number we really want. And then the low really low. So we can get them, to where we want them to be. So.
Yeah.
All righty. So let's open it up to anybody else who wants to expand on, maybe we talk about generating referrals from past clients. I know we have some really good relational agents on here. I don't know if Joe's still on here. But why don't we talk about like getting referrals from past clients? Because I had a way to do it. I can share my way later, but let's open it up to you guys and gals that have some awesome ways to get referrals from your clients.
Hey, Tina, it's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. I'm glad you made it back safely from Charlotte. Did you end up going to that coffee shop on the corner?
We did. It was delish.
Nice.
So I always love when I go to a coffee shop and I ask for a cappuccino and they actually give me the right size cup. I'm like, yes, I'm in the right place. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, next time you're there, we'll have to have you over to the office. That's the building we're in. So
I love it.
It was great seeing you. Anyways, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. So I'm very passionate about this one. Couple things. One is I personally do about 65% of my personal business from broker to broker referrals. I have an enormous agent to agent relationship business. And it was built very intentionally. So as Tina's mentioned before, we're kind of an expansion model. We're spread out throughout the state, and that leverage, or that setup, has given us leverage to be the go-to name for the agents that I've built relationships with. So through that, coffee meetups, let's grab a glass of wine, that kind of thing. That's how we have been very grassroots in building those relationships. So number one, if you want a really good referral business with agents, start there. Go build a relationship that you would build with a client with an agent as well. The second thing from a client perspective is it's about loving on your people. And so for us, and it has to be individualized. Certainly we send out mass emails, we do a newsletter, things like that. But it has to be in addition to. That's not relationship building. That's just staying in front of someone, right? The relationship building piece comes when you send them a happy birthday text message, when you call them and ask how their mom is doing. You notice that she was in the hospital. When you stop by and you drop a handwritten card off at the front door, or you run down to the neighbor's house and you blow off their yard in addition to yours. Those are the things that are building very personable relationships. And that's how you're going to be able to stay in front of past clients or your sphere. Additionally is I don't shy away from reaching out to past clients and telling them I need something from them. And how that would go is, hey, ring, ring, ring. Hey, Shelby, what's going on? How are you? And I do the icebreaker. I catch up. How's things going? How was their softball match last weekend? Things like that. And then I say, hey, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I need a huge favor from you. And you're like my biggest cheerleader. And I know you always come through. Do you have 2 minutes that you can do something for me? And they're always excited to do it. And so they say, sure, what is it? They want to know what it is. Could you please send a text message to the girl that you introduced me to a couple weeks ago at my event that you brought with me? Could you send a group text and just re-engage her for me? And then I'll take over. And so that's just a way that maybe, I would re-engage somebody that she's introduced me to, or just a way that I want to get their phone number, something like that. Another thing is when you're having an event for past clients or your special people, ask them to bring somebody with them. I always encourage them to bring a friend. Bring a boyfriend, bring a girlfriend, whatever it may be, bring your mom, hell, I don't care. And so at the end of the day, them bringing someone, it's a numbers game, guys. It is completely a numbers game. And so for us, it's just about how do we then turn that new person that we're meeting into somebody we're going to pour love into. The last thing I'll say about staying close to past clients or, friends and family and things like that is, it kind of goes back to what I was talking to just then, is they want to be special. Okay. They want to be your go-to. They want to have the inside scoop. They want to be the ones that's first to know, right? So think about ways that you can do that. When you go to invite somebody, or you're going to put together an event and it's going to be a small group, reach out to the 2 or 3 of those people that are your VIP people and ask them if they want to help you plan it. Ask them if they want to be involved in selecting what you do. Like, everybody else has an opinion, maybe a different point of view on fun things to do. You might gather something that you never thought of. What you're going to get from that is not just a good idea. You're going to get trust, because they're going to be like, shit, Joe reached out to me. That was so kind of him to think of me. And it was so much fun for me to be involved in planning that event. So those are just a couple of things. Again, the theme here is you have to make people feel special, and you have to make it personal in everything that you do. So I'll pause for a moment, see if there's any questions, or Tina, if I didn't hit on something.
No, I love that. I mean, I wrote down, obviously, the big thing, sending postcards is staying in front of them, but the relationships and the handwritten notes, the text about their pet or their mom passing, I love, do you have time for me? And asking them, for a favor, can you bring a friend to this event? I think that's huge. I don't know that we do that. And Allison, if you're listening, helping them plan, or asking people to help us plan the events. I think a lot of people are sitting at home bored, right? And maybe their kids went off to college and they're like, what do I do with my life now? Come help us plan a past client event, get them engaged. The number one human need is interaction. And I think when you look at the blue zones, part of the reason why people live so long is because they have a purpose. And so I love that, Joe, like asking them to come and help us with something. I think a lot of people would raise their hand and want to come and participate. So that was my takeaway.
People are naturally, they're naturally nosy, they're inquisitive, they want to be involved, right? Like the latest and the greatest. Hell, what if you took, especially for the ladies on the team, kind of speaking directly to you all, like a girls' night? What if you said, hey, I'm going to reach out to 4 of my lady friend clients, their moms, they're exhausted. I mean, hell, the ladies out there, y'all do most of the work in the family, and I get it. And so it's like, what if you just picked 3 to 5 of those ladies and said, hey, let's have a girls' night. I'm going to go out for a couple of hours and I would love to have y'all with me. Like, hell, just go get a bottle of wine and sit at a little wine lounge, something like that, just to get them away. And then at that little wine meetup, that's where you're doing the planning. Hey, girls, I called y'all together, not only because I wanted to see your face because I've missed you, but I'm planning this super cool event and I need your help. I'd love your ideas. Are y'all down for it? And then, hell, of course, they're going to want to be involved. So it's the connection. People want to get away from their busy lives. They got a million things going on. They want to be made to feel special. And being involved is a great way to do that.
I love that. And really, when they're all sitting there at the table, they're all talking about how great you are because the one connection source of them is you, right? It's Joe. It's, oh my God, Joe's so amazing. He helped me buy this house. So you're like literally getting live testimonials right there, and you're creating VIP customers. You're creating raving fans, as they talk about. There's a book called Raving Fans. And I love that. And I love getting that on-demand feedback. And you could do that with 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, ladies at a wine bar, to get all these moms together and really train them to send you referrals, because that's the lifeblood of the business. Sarah, you have your hand up. I don't know if it was from before, if you have a question about what we're talking about. And you're muted. And your hand's down now.
Hi, yes.
Hi.
I just wanted to comment about what Joe was talking about. He is right 100%. Tapping into your people, tapping into your community, get those warm referrals. It really does work. That happened to me a couple of months ago when the interest rates started to go up. It was almost 8%. I'm on a team, and our lead generation was dry. We had nothing. So I started to tap into my people, and I end up December, when nobody was closing in my team, I closed $2 million in value. Just warm referrals.
Good for you.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. That was awesome. Anyone else want to share, contribute things that have worked? I love the ideas that Joe came up with. Of course, I'm going to steal some of those, Joe. Thank you. Anyone?
I have a few things.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hello. I think more so than anything, where we got very purposeful in this is when we just incorporated it into the life we were already living and the brand that we were already portraying. So we said, like, who is it that we're connecting to or that's attracted to us at a high level? And it's women, moms, and business owners. Well, what are their needs that are not being met, or what can we do to pour value in them? So whether it's connecting with another local business owner and inviting them to like our women's empowerment event and giving them exposure to other people that would be customers of theirs. We've interviewed them on our social media and given them exposure to all of our followers as well. So we've really tried to come from contribution and pour into others and make them feel, I don't want to say committed to us, but we're pouring into you. It does make them feel committed to us. We've created a VIP list of people that are either bringing us a lot of referrals or people that are businesses that we do business with. So when we do our drop-offs to businesses or to past clients, we're going and purchasing stuff from the local businesses that we're already promoting. So it becomes like a huge snowball effect. We're not just promoting them on social media, we're incorporating them into our events. We're buying stuff from them to give to our clients, which then our clients go back and purchase stuff from their businesses. So it becomes a whirlwind of pouring into one another, but also creating a little community amongst us that we're all incorporated, no matter an event, social media, whatever it may be. And it just, moms want to know, like, where did you get this for your daughter? Or what events are you getting your children involved in? So it's just, we're helping each other indirectly and providing them a level of service that's above and beyond real estate that allows them to keep us top of mind without endlessly asking for referrals all the time. But then we also become the go-to people for like, who do you use to paint? Who do you use for your interior decorator? Because we're putting so many of these businesses out there, we have people just naturally and organically coming back to us to provide value to them afterwards. So then what that does, it allows us to communicate with them at a much higher level consistently throughout the year. So when we have a buyer in a neighborhood that's in their neighborhood that they live in, we go to them and say, hey, we have a buyer that wants to be in your neighborhood, and we already have the relationship formed, and they go to work for us like they're almost on the real estate team and start asking the neighborhood, hey, we have somebody that wants to live in the neighborhood, yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden we have a listing referral and we've met the needs of a buyer. And it takes away the yucky feeling of just reaching out to past clients for referrals when you're actually constantly reaching out to them to pour value into them in some way, shape, or form. And then it all becomes, very a natural, organic way of bringing business to yourself because you're constantly interacting and showing up in front of them, providing value to their life. And it's fun for us, it's not picking up the call asking for referrals. We're already seeing these people on a regular basis because of the events that we do and the things that we put out there.
I love it. I love the fact that, your mission, the women, the moms, the business owners. And so doing these interviews, like you talk to one business owner, think of how many hundreds of people come into their business. And so you're creating these raving fans that have a bigger voice instead of like, sure, you're great to one customer, but one customer's one, you're tapping into the business owners, which I think is huge when they sing your praises.
Yeah. And I think, people in a smaller community, people go to business owners because they trust them,
Correct.
So you already have another one of you working on your behalf in front of an entirely different audience.
Exactly. Like for instance, when we go on a listing appointment, we found a lady at one of the Cary fairs, and she made these cute little candles. And so we put them in black tins. It says call group on it. So even after we leave the listing, like we have our little candle, which is going to be burned for hours and hours with our little name on it. It's just something that they have there sitting. So if you guys don't do that, that's a nice little way to just keep your name in front of them versus a listing folder that they're going to stack under all their bills. And then of course we have the VIP list where if we have customers that have referred us 3 or 4 times in the year, because our agents track, they get a big basket like of all the local stuff. And, it's just like a surprise just for no reason, just to deliver it to their front porch, and call them that you have something for them. And it's a big thank you. And it doesn't cost that much money, but it's a big impact moment. All right, Joe, and then Pam, you guys have your hands up.
Yeah, I just had a quick comment. Amber, good to see you. I love the idea you're talking about taking it to the local business. I immediately went to a place, kind of tying it back to the women's night out kind of thing, is like a boutique, a shop owner, somebody who owns a little boutique, something like that. We've got some ladies in the Charlotte area that have done that, other teams. And it's been a huge hit if you do it at a boutique. Because, ladies want to go out and see what kind of new accessories and outfits and all that. And so it really gets people engaged. Always doing a giveaway. You talked about a basket, Tina. I would do a basket at the event and they got a raffle. So now you're collecting additional information. And then if they bring a friend, you give them a second entry. So they're now getting rewarded as the main person that you invited. They're getting rewarded because they brought a friend with them and they're getting another entry into the giveaway. So I think there's a lot of different ways you could really, different angles with that idea, and then always filming it and using that content to build up for the next one. I love that idea, Amber, about the local business. That's awesome.
And I think, as you get synergy going, it creates FOMO. And then all of a sudden you've created like this club that people want to be a part of, and then they want to do business with you because you are much more than just selling a house. Thank you, Joe.
Exactly. Yeah. We've had business owners reach out to us to say, hey, we're in your town now. Will you come to our grand opening? Will you, like, they want us to come out and promote them because obviously they're seeing our name all over town. And that's a huge connection piece. So Miss Pam Tucker.
Good morning. So one of the things that I do that has been really, really helpful is in different neighborhoods, especially in neighborhoods that I'm farming, is that I'll sponsor an event, but we do movie night now. So I bought the equipment. So it is my screen, it's my equipment. So I own movie night now. So where they said, will you be a sponsor? No, I won't be a sponsor. I'm going to be not just one, I am the sponsor. So by buying the equipment, I am now the one we have on the calendar for the, this next year. We picked all the dates that we'll have for movie night, and it's kids' movies. So we kind of, if we can buy that and own the actual equipment, we own the night. And so that's a great contribution. I never ask for the business. I just, what can we do? How can I help? In those neighborhoods, if they have any type of event, we'll always help run and sponsor, like the garage sale, or they have like a market or craft fair. When we do that, I help promote that. I'll take the photos, I'll go put that out on social media. And then I also purchase from those small local businesses, doing that for pop buys, and I'll plan it out ahead of time, whether it's a closing gift, it's pop buy. But it's getting very involved with them doing that, making sure that my name is seen when it is sponsoring the swim team, but then also very inexpensively to do the backpacks that the kids are going to wear for the swim team, like all those little marketing pieces. So I'm not asking for the business, but they'll come and say, hey, I know you've done this, this, and this for our community. We would love to kind of pay that forward, do something with you. So I think doing those events has been really helpful. But who else can I pull into that event? Maybe it's a small business owner and saying, well, we're doing movie night and you're the cookie lady. Can I buy cookies from you to give out at the event, so that it all ties in? So that has been huge for me. And the dollar amount I spend on that is minimal compared to the return I get.
I love that. I love that. I mean, those are all fantastic ideas. And movie night is amazing. We've never done it. We've rented out a movie theater, and that was fun. That was a few years ago, and people loved it. And we probably got the most traction at that event because we could come, say hi, have the pleasantries, and then here's your popcorn and your soda. And then, they've got 2 hours of great family time with their kids or whoever. So I love that, Pam.
When we do the movie screen outside, the one thing I want to mention is that what happens is the kiddos get all set up, but now you're talking with all the adults. We're not watching the movie, we're having a drink and we're talking, and it gets into another whole thing. And there's not a night that happens where at least 5, 6, 7 people come up and say, hey, we just moved into the neighborhood, but we have extra money left over and we're looking to invest, or my mom needs a place, or my cousin's moving into town. So it's all those other conversations that are happening during that, because you are doing a lot of, I love the movie theater one, but they go and sit in their seat and now they're not interacting. We have 2 hours to talk and communicate and get to another level.
Would you ever let them, let's say you have your database, would you ever let them, how people have the moving truck, you can rent this truck to move. Would you ever bring your equipment to a party and then you get to be the sponsor for that? And now you're meeting all the neighbors and the friends, and this is our realtor.
Yeah, that's a great idea for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now because you can't have a party every week, but if you go set that thing up,
Yes.
3 times a month and through the summer,
Yeah.
that is a really great way to
That's
go,
next level.
right? So I'm going to be putting you to work, Pam. She's going to start a second company, movie night company, right? I love it. I love it. One of the ideas that we had, which I'm going to throw out because I didn't say it earlier, but you know how when you close on new construction and the builder, is showing like in a cabinet or in a folder, they've got all the vendors that worked on the house and all the names and numbers. I remember I moved into one of my homes 8 years ago, and the previous owner had put a list inside one of the cabinets, and I left it there. It was just handwritten, but it was all the vendors, the plumbers, the painters, the emergency line for poison control, the police. And I was like, this is so useful. So I left it there. And so we thought if we created one of those lists where at closing, you actually put up one of those vendor lists with your name at the top and your team name or whatever, and you left it in one of the cupboards, that could easily be removed and not mess up the cupboards. I think that would be a great value add, and they're seeing your name constantly when they're opening up that cupboard drawer. So I don't know, that's something that we haven't implemented yet, but we want to. Go ahead, Pam.
One thing that we do for new construction is we do this, just a plain old binder, but we put the front sheet as the house, and on that, we do a photo of the house with the address, and then I have my name on the bottom, and then you open up the binder, it's all of I love, like, you know, it's the plastic sheets and all of your appliance information, your warranty information, and then it's branded in there. And for investors, we have the property managers information on there. Like Tina was saying, all of the emergency stuff. We have other vendors in there, but that sits in the house and it lives in there forever. But it's just branded. Every page we brand in case they take something out. But it's there forever. So hopefully, right, when they're ready to move or the next person moves in and you hand that binder to the next person, it kind of it continues. But that home binder with all the information, we've been doing that for a little bit, and it's very helpful.
I love that. Because you'd get that, like when we moved into this house, it was a remodel and our builder did that. And I was like, this is so cool. And they had gathered everything in its place. And I was like, what a beautiful thing. Cause we just changed our filters. I went right to my little binder book. Everything was in its place under appliances, and it was the most useful thing, but it was branded with our builder. So, yeah, I would do that. I would add maybe a laminated thing you can stick right on the cupboard, because that's like an everyday thing. So your goal is just to be everywhere in that house on something that'll take, you know, that their eyeballs see, basically. What else do we want to add to any of this conversation? Anybody else? All these great ideas flowing on our past clients' touches. I mean, I've got plenty of ideas now between all of you all, so thank you. Joe, Pam, where'd you go? Amber's gone. She had to run, but yeah, I think it's just doing something. It's staying in front of people. It's you know, calling them out of the blue. I love that. I always do that with my people on Facebook. I'm not just messaging them on their feed. I'm actually private messaging them on the background. And I do that. I try to touch 5 people every night. Like right before you go to bed, you could just leave a quick personal message, scroll your feed, and then just get in front of them and become the go-to. I've made so many good friends through the years with that tactic. Adam said, quarterly magazines have been great for me. And something passive. Yeah. So that's the stay in touch method, right? Just stay in front of them. But then how do we interact? You have a comment here at the office. Go ahead, Alzanne.
Yeah, Tina, you said, talking about Facebook, what's kind of cool is you can Google how to do this. You can actually put people in different lists. So you can see, like, if you have certain people that you want, you want to interact with more because, you know, they're at a higher price point or they're local to your area, kind of have like a list of people. And then what you can do is filter through that list and then only see them in your feed. So you can make sure that you're seeing all their stuff. It's just an easy hack to kind of have different lists. Like if you had an agent list, you had a, you know, past client list. So to kind of keep you organized and help you reach out to more people.
I love that. I love that. That's way above my head, but maybe you can teach us to do that one day.
We have another one, Tina.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, Tina. So I've talked about this with you before. I have a lake house in Lake Gaston, so I offer that to my VIP clients.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
So how do you offer it to them? How do they win your lake house?
Well, I just it's staying in touch. So when I say my VIP clients, I stay in touch with them throughout the year. And recently I started doing this, just calling them up. Hi, how are you? And I'd love to offer you a weekend at my lake house in Lake Gaston, and they accept right away.
I bet. And, you know, even when you stick them, you can stick them all in a Facebook group and have a contest, you know, like, hey, we're putting up our lake house. It's sort of like an auction. The more referrals we get, you're going to be placed into a, whatever, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? The drawing. Thank you. I'm brain dead. So you're going to be put in the drawing, and the more referrals you bring, you know, you're going to win this lake house. We're going to do it 4 times a year. So every quarter you do the big lake house giveaway. I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and then when they get there, I have a bottle of wine for them and a list of what to do in Lake Gaston.
I love that because they do become raving fans, right? You could even, and if you don't have a lake house, because not everyone on this call has a lake house like Teresa, you can Airbnb one, right? Just Airbnb it for another, find the coolest Airbnb possible, rent it out for 2 nights. I mean, think about it, $150 a night. You've got $300 you just spent and you're giving someone a little getaway, right? A little couple's vacation. Hey, did you just have a baby and you need like literally some time? Go have grandma watch the baby. We rented you this amazing Airbnb, hire a cook, right? Hire a chef for them. My ideas are just flowing. We're going to do all this stuff, Alison, right?
All of them.
And Brandon, I was gonna say.
All of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I was gonna say back to the chart thing that we just did, that would have been so helpful, because I have a listing right now. And this is Brooke, by the way, and I have a listing right now, and you know, it was struggling to sell. It's been listed for a while in Lewisburg, and I told my clients, I said, listen, we have to price at market. And Tina, you actually had one not too far away from it, so I used you as a comp for mine. And I said, you know, we have to price it at market value, and they said no. You know, they wanted to go way over, and the problem is the co-agent, it's her parents, so they're kind of like, we're all on like the group message, and like she's trying to make her parents happy, but I'm just trying to stay neutral. And so basically, the house has been on the market now like over 60 days, and not only did we not get the market price or 25 under, I mean, the offers are coming in like really low. I mean, just because they wouldn't listen to like anything, like the market price, nothing. I mean, the offers are just so low right now. And also they wanted to price the day, or they also wanted to put on the market the day before Thanksgiving, which I said probably wouldn't be the best idea. And they didn't do that. So I feel like if we would have started right now with these 3, you know, the 775, 750, 725 thing, we would have been able to get them so much more money. I mean, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything we can do at this point besides just keep rolling with it and hopefully accept an offer, but they're just not coming in near like the list price.
Right. I know it is tough. I mean, it's a balancing act. Anything you want to add to that comment, Judy?
I mean, it's too late. Probably.
I would go back to them with this. I would do it and I would show it to them and say, I know that we talked about this at the beginning. Now I'd like to demonstrate where we are in the market right now. This is what we need to do now to make sure that you're getting the offers that you need.
Yeah.
It's never too late. Just do it.
Just do it over. I mean, sometimes I've even said, hey, I think I made a mistake. I think we misread the tea leaves. And I want to, as your advisor, bring this back to your attention. Let's have a regroup. Let's have a relaunch. And let's get this right.
Well, especially right now, you can say to them, the market doesn't play fair. And honestly, when we looked at this is what the market was bearing, and it has shifted through the night. Let's shift with it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for participating. And we're at the top of the hour. So this is recorded. If you want to go back and get ideas, we'll stick it on the Freedom Builders YouTube page. But thank you all for showing up and contributing. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Next week.